Hello, citizens of Sadala. I'm back with some more Universe 6 talk, and for this one, I just want to focus on what Unisons I'm thinking about. Like I said last time, the automatic choice is hit for Cabba, Kefla for Kale, and hit again for Kefla. But let's expand further on that and talk about some other options. For Cabba, I'm pretty locked in with the Unison to run being just 4 copies of hit. Besides just being an awesome generic blue good stuff Unison, with a +1 to draw and the classic hit ability to unawaken your opponent, this Unison is built for Cabba, as Cabba is spirit boosting to combo from the drop. That combo in turn is helping you arrival, which will effectively cancel out the marker that you lost from spirit boosting as you gain a marker back for arriving. Not too much else to say on that one, so let's talk about Kefla. She also wants to use the hit Unison. A severe disadvantage of playing the Kefla Surge Leader is that she has no draw power. I've been trying to find ways around that with similar Unisons like Piccolo Jr., but he's red, so that doesn't really work because Kefla needs to be blue-yellow. A third color really clunks up your ability to Surge Awaken. There is the blue baby Unison, but a 3-cost Unison in this deck is a bit too expensive. So as soon as I saw this hit Unison, my mind went straight to Kefla. Yes, so for Kefla, I'm definitely putting hit at 4. He may get targeted heavily as he is your draw engine, and that's okay. That's less attacks your leader is taking. In that case, I might want to put the blue baby Unison at 2 or 3 as an emergency option. If you're playing him after your hit has died, odds are you're deep enough into the game that paying 3 isn't hard. Kale is the leader that has a bit more Unison flexibility in my eyes. Kefla is the intended choice. She helps Kale ramp, and I like that you essentially do a Patara fusion when you put her under Kale and bring out the Kefla. She's 20k for attacks when you +1 and bounces back a 2 or less. And bouncing isn't as good as KOing, but it can have its uses. On first glance, the -3 seems good. You put towards your ramp and you get to play a Kefla from your deck. And if you play Unending Evolution this way, you get the draw and bottom decking effect. The problem, however, lies in the current ruling of Unisons as I understand them. If you use the -3 when you only have 3 markers, Kefla will go straight to the drop instead of fulfilling her ability. And that is because when a Unison loses all of its markers, it goes straight to the drop, at which point its ability is cancelled. So that means you actually need to be on 4 markers before you -3 her. That will be a little bit harder, not to mention your opponent will most likely not want to let that happen, so will probably focus on attacking the Unison. You could still use the Kefla battle cards for ramping, so perhaps the Unison isn't necessary. That's something a little bit of testing will tell you. In that case, what other Unisons should I consider? Well, there is of course, once again, hit for blue good stuff. Wouldn't say you could go wrong there. Now I was thinking of Zeno, having just recently obtained my playset of it, but upon reading it next to Kale, you'll see that it doesn't work. Zeno prevents you from putting any energy in for the turn after you use his ability, and Kale's ramp effect is at the end of your turn. If it had been at the start of your turn instead, it could have worked, but alas, no. Gogeta is an option if you want to play a defensive style. Freezer and Cell might be an idea. Make the deck function similar to Kefla Surge and play the 1-drop Keflas, Kales, and Cabba for free once per turn. And then bonus if you manage to get enough markers, Rejuvenate. And then there's blue good stuff, Majin Buu. Buu is a very strong Unison, and we are ramping in this deck, so it won't be too much stress to pay 4 for it. Alternatively, you could play SS4 Goku, but Buu is probably the better option. Those are the Unisons that stood out to me the most while looking at these decks, and so I have a few options to consider while I wait to get my hands on the cards and start building and testing. But if there's one thing you should take away from this video, it's this. Make sure you get a playset of hit. Okay, that will do it for now. The set is just about to drop and will be in my hands in time for the next video. I will see you then.